Hello, I am Becca from AssessFirst, and today I am going to run you through the innovative, AI-driven and inclusive platform that we have developed here that can help empower both talent acquisition and talent management teams to verify and map skills. Before I start, let me set the scene and explain the context of the challenges that a lot of businesses are facing today. And if you aren't facing it now, we anticipate that the challenge will appear fast into the upcoming months and years. At this moment in time, 90% of candidates use AI to write their CVs or prepare their interviews. We are no longer recruiting people anymore. We are recruiting their prompts. AI has changed how people apply, but not necessarily how companies evaluate. As it stands, the CV is an institutionalized reference that the majority of you will more than likely be using in your recruitment processes, potentially a lot of the initial stages in the funnel. But just how reliable and how useful are CVs to continue moving forward as the first line of verification when they all look very similar, use the same vocab, and are arriving into your ATS dashboards at a speed that represents the AI tools that candidates are using to mass apply? The reliance on CVs is not fit for future purpose. We will see a clash of old world processes versus the new world reality. So let me introduce to you what this new world and new processes could look like, where we place less emphasis on the CV and truly understand who in your candidate talent pool is the right candidate for the job based upon AI-proof data. Skills verification should be the first method of managing your candidate talent pools. And this is our expertise here at AssessFirst. We can help you identify the most authentic candidates. We are trusted by and work in partnership with lots of businesses across different industries, all with different challenges and use cases, whether that be volume application, senior exec role hiring, team fit, turnover, culture definition, potential, and identification of growth mindset. At AssessFirst, we offer you 3 types of insight to better determine a candidate's potential. The first is an understanding of who somebody is. We have developed 3 scientifically valid assessments that focus in on identifying the overall umbrella theme of potential. We have our swipe assessment, 5-minute personality assessment based upon the Big 5 theory, our drive assessment, a 10-minute motivations assessment, identifying what people want to do, how they want to do it, and alongside what manager. And then our brain assessment, a 10-minute mental agility assessment, not necessarily an IQ test, but an understanding of how somebody processes information, the extent of information, and at what speed. All 3 are AI-proof, gamified, and adaptive. Secondly, we have our voice AI agent. This is a technical and language skills assessment and evaluates spoken responses with 99% AI-proof accuracy. Finally, we have our growth mindset functionality. We can identify who in your talent pool can learn, adapt, and succeed in the future. Regardless as to whether you know what skills are required in the future, we can determine that top 15% of the population who will be able to grow and adapt and become the ambassadors of your future business within those new roles requiring those adaptive skills. Candidate experience is absolutely critical for us here at AssessFirst. Here you can see an example of the candidate experience we offer. Our assessments are interactive and accessible. We want them to be easy to complete, regardless of whether the candidate has a computer at home or not. Everything can be fully branded, and every candidate receives instant feedback, whether they are successful or not within the existing process. We are very conscious that in you using our assessment and our skills validation within your process, we are representing your brand. This contributes to our 4.9 out of 5 Google rating for candidate experience. So where should assessments sit in the process? It really depends on your challenge. High volumes roles may assess early, specialist roles may assess later to support alignment with hiring managers. AssessFirst insights can be used throughout the process, and most importantly, be recycled throughout that process to bring value to several stakeholders for one position. What would a typical process look like? The first step in the process is to define ultimately what good looks like for your role within your business, or what good looks like or what the definition of your company culture is within your business. We can do both. Once that is defined, the next step in the process is for you to administer the assessments at your chosen stage. The system then immediately compares candidate results to your success profile and generates a global scoring, predicting the likelihood of success. We will then highlight gaps and generate tailored interview questions for hiring managers to really ensure that they are probing on those areas which could be uncertain at that point in the process. How do we go to find and define that nuance? How do we build that success profile, as mentioned before, either based on role by role or identifying the definition of your company culture? We use your existing teams. We will gather a high and low performers, a selection of those internally who will complete the assessments. Our system will then give you the opportunity to input on a 1 5-star rating that individual's actual performance and their actual attitude, drawn from something as unbiased and consistent within the process as possible, like a yearly appraisal. The system then will start to understand, okay, so what is the difference between those high performers, those low performers, those with a great attitude and a poor attitude, and will ultimately identify the traits linked to success and will build a personalized benchmark across personality, motivations, and mental agility. And this becomes your recruitment model. This can then be repeated and repeated on a role-by-role basis, making sure that you will have a tool in your process that is scalable across the business, across countries, across business units. You access everything through a live dashboard or through your ATS integration. Everything that you're seeing here gives you the alignment scores and includes several detailed breakdowns for each individual candidate and their output and the results. What's really interesting is our Copilot functionality, which gives you the opportunity to ask any questions about a candidate's data, to explore their behaviors, explore their motivations, their culture fit, look at understanding their role compatibility, and even as far as preparing for an interview. We understand that getting stakeholder buy-in from the likes of hiring managers is difficult. Our affinity functionality helps weather that storm and that conversation. This affinity functionality will give you an opportunity to compare a candidate's profile with a manager's and provides practical guidance on communication, delegation, goal setting, and day-to-day collaboration, really giving the tool a use case and a life outside of the typical process and providing value add to your hiring manager stakeholder community. How is it that our clients will use us? Really, again, depending upon their challenge. If we take the example of Green King uses AssessFirst at the top of the funnel to reduce turnover. They have seen fantastic results in just 8 months, a reduction in turnover of 18% through the integration with smart recruiters, and has even got to the point of removing the CV from the pre-sift stage. Many organizations use us for senior or specialist roles to improve decision-making later in the process, not necessarily just volume. And what you see here is an example of the average return on investment that we will achieve through the work that we have going on with our clients. An increase of 30% in performance, an average of 2.5 times engagement levels, and a reduction of half when it comes to turnover. We integrate with all major ATS platforms. We have a strong network and ecosystem of partners. All of this naturally means nothing if the tool isn't valid, if there's not science, if there's not close to zero adverse impact proven behind the tool, and most importantly, that it is audited. We are recognized by the world's leading international bodies from a scientific perspective. We have published over 60 publications since 2022, and most importantly, our AI has been audited by Holistic AI to show that the processes that we have in place are valid and are trustworthy. We don't just support clients from a talent acquisition perspective, we do support clients across the entire employee lifecycle: onboarding, internal mobility, succession planning, development planning, and even skills and team mapping. Welcome to the era of skills verification, powered by AI. AssessFirst gives you an opportunity to include AI within your process, but not make it all about AI, and provide hiring managers and talent teams with in-depth information, data, to make sure that they are making the right decision on their hires. Thank you very much for your time. If you do have any questions, any queries, or any future potential projects that you want to discuss, please reach out.